What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another recap review show here with your good folks at the Culture Collective, empowered by Big Go Belt Media. We're super close to the finish line of Power Book 4 Force with tonight's recap focusing around episode 9, War Requiem, which is brought to you by the writers Terri Kopp and James Slainmann, and the notorious director Eif Rivera, who you already know, which we've already talked about, that, and you should know by now when you see Eif's name as a director, especially if it's an episode 1, 9, or 10, you know exactly what time it is. And back in the day, I would even say episode 5, because that's when they used to kind of do that mid-season break. But with that being said, too, next week will be a break. So next week we will not have a recap show. We might have content. We're on standby for news. Like, be prepared. Whenever some news drop, we are going to have a show or discussion or something for you to talk about what that means, because we are anticipating that there has to be some measure of news in terms of the expansion of the Power Universe, or just essentially our thoughts about this season wrapping up, and what does that ultimately mean for the Power Universe going forward, the possibilities for it. Happy holidays to everybody from us to you all. Hopefully you all are safe, having fun, good time, and all that sorts of good stuff. And Happy New Year. How you doing today, sir?
Oh man, I completely forgot this. Jesus Christ. What happened in 2025? It just feels like I was just in 2024 and I'm already in 2026.
Yeah.
Man. All them old people was telling me the truth when they say the older you get, time completely flies by.
Yeah. Good Thankful God, for man, another year for sure. Yeah.
God almighty.
Yeah. I'm truly thankful for another year, and we're thankful for you all. But even though it's a new year, it's going to be the same old, just like that Steam meme where he takes off the mask and it's still him under it. Expect a lot more from us. We're just going to be working at a higher rate, and we're going to be having even more exclusive content, coverage, and all that other good stuff. Yeah, we're ramping things up, but we're still going to do what we do best. That being said, I told you we had a very exclusive interview this week. And matter of fact, before I even talk about that, the Culture Collective is your place for all exclusive content for Power. I have made a grave mistake in not watermarking our content, because I have been given exclusive clips to share with you all for these episodes, and I just see the internet running wild. I see people claiming it like there's stairs, and there's no way. Because if the network says exclusive to you, that means that anybody else that's putting it out there, you are in the wrong, and I should just bam out. I should just bam out on everybody, but it's okay. But I will say this, Lucas. I was going to tell you off air, but I'll just say it now. You tell me what you think. We give y'all the recap review shows. We love doing that, but I feel like I'm at a point now where, like, this is other exclusive stuff. I might throw that behind an exclusive membership paywall. Since people seem
it anyway,
you know, might as well get taxed before you do what you do out there.
Exactly.
So that's just the energy we on. Like, we work very, very hard to be in the position that we're in. A lot of people understand that and appreciate that. We understand that and appreciate that.
Yep.
And I'd be damned if I out here do charity work for any of these motherfuckers that can't even give you the slightest bit of credit, because motherfuckers in this Power Universe would swear to God. I saw red carpet interviews with me in it, and somebody saying it was them. like wow. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I thought they did the jump I always see where they take your interview, remove you from it, insert themselves asking the question. And you're like, wait.
Yeah,
I know damn well that's my interview.
Yeah,
like, I know the question I asked, and you wouldn't even thought about asking that question.
And 100%.
It's wild out here in these YouTube streets, Jeff.
So y'all let us know, man. Y'all feeling that exclusive membership? That means, like, Oh, if that's the case, then we will certainly not only have exclusive, but we'll definitely have
quadruple
access.
content.
Yeah, yeah, we'll take care of y'all. It's definitely in discussion, and it's in discussion as quick as episode 10, which I know y'all can't wait. And because we got that break, gives me a little bit of extra time to get things where I need to get. But before we get to episode 10, episode 9, exclusive interview for you right now, available on the channel. Isaac Keys himself, the notorious Diamond Sampson. We had a chance to talk to him. He had a lot to say. We're definitely going to talk about all of those little tidbits that he gave us throughout this recap and more. But before we get to that, let me give you a little tease, a little clip of that right here.
Diamond just stayed true to what he said he was always going to do. And I think that if anybody's going to take his brother out, it's going to be Diamond, not Tommy. Tommy can't give him that gratification of taking his brother out and Diamond being able to live with it and still be going on and live on in the streets or however he may have to go after this. So he takes that bullet and would probably take it 100 times for it. You know, if he could survive off of it, I'm sure he would. But you know, it's a very big bullet and very big gun, and you know, and it was a good shot. So
yeah,
you know, and you could tell, you see at the end when as Diamond is starting to pass, he gets it out and says, "I forgive you."
All right, thank you, my brother Isaac. Again, it's always a pleasure to talk to him. Y'all check out the full interview. It's available on the channel right now. Man, I gotta tell you, Lucas, man, I it's got to feel real good when you hear from the man himself sort of give the validation. Although,
hey,
you know,
look here, I know out there that people was doubting what I was saying. It's fine. It is fine if you want to doubt it, but just understand you once you know how certain people would move, the answers become so obvious what's going to happen. Of course, he would have had to take out his brother. He would have had no choice but to do so. Because again, in the game where it's about loyalty, what else would Diamond have to do here? And you know it's going to hurt, and you know it's not going to be something that he would prefer to do. But as I said last episode, that whole shot in the ring with Shanti told you everything you wanted to see. And then that short scene in the church, he asked him one question, and some people would blow past that question that he asked him. He asked him that question because he wanted to see what his brother's answer was going to be.
Yeah.
And you saw Jenard hesitate for a moment, and that told him everything you need to know. In the streets, you cannot hesitate when someone knows knows the answer already. The moment you hesitate, you're lying to me.
Yeah. And
it would have hurt his heart not to do it, but we see what happened. And no, and one quick shout out for my partner knowing better. And what I mean by that is clearly last episode we said, well, we got to interview somebody, but wait, because every time we get an interview, it could be so I'm not gonna tell y'all the name.
Yeah,
good move, because
and I, to be honest, I kept it 100. I didn't know, but I had suspicions. But I will say this is why I love the internet, because y'all know everything, and I just be seeing him like go off. just go off, you know what I mean? But I will say this though, two things, because we like to still like dive in the power lore. Is he really gone? Is it really it? I mean, the shot itself doesn't.
Here's the thing. They did not show him dead.
They did not.
All they showed him was shot. You have to understand what that means in power. Mm-hmm. We thought Claudia was dead last year.
This is a fact. Yeah. This is a fact.
All you saw him was shot, and you saw Jenard screaming. That does not mean Diamond's dead.
Yeah. So listen, y'all, right now in the chat, y'all let us know, is Diamond dead or might he return for the finale, the very, very last episode of the series? We'll see. I don't know, but I do know one thing. I do know one thing. I have another really big episode, really big interview next week. Really big, so big that you just have to tune in. And frankly, that interview might not even just be available for you all. Might have to be behind that membership only paywall, but it's really big. It's really big. It's really exclusive too. It's really nice. I'm just looking at it right here like, oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be a lot of questions asked. There's going to be a lot of theories pulled from it. There's going to be so much to talk about.
You know, the interview's going to, it's a big interview when my man up here sounding like Trump. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be big and beautiful, okay? No Diddy, but yeah. Anyway, we
Oh, man.
appreciate you all sticking with us now. 3 seasons, 9 episodes, 1 more to go, and definitely so much more power down the line. And I take the opportunity now because we don't know when the next power conversations is going to happen. So let us know what other shows you're interested in, just to kind of give y'all a little bit behind the curtains for us. We've been thinking about a couple of shows right now. One being Hijack, Apple TV Plus, Idris Elba. First season was amazing. Catch up now if you haven't. The second one, it was something else.
Cross.
Season 2.
They pushed us to do, wanted us to do season 1.
That's right.
So
we did. Yeah, Cross. We did do coverage, but we didn't actually do a full recap of it. So y'all let us know. Is there anything out there in the world, whatever network that you're interested in, that you're looking for weekly recaps, which means we're here to break the episodes down, give you our thoughts, our theories, our predictions, diving into the lore, and that you all want to be participating with us each and every week. That being said, let's get into it. We're starting off the top of this episode with Tommy and D-Mac, who was overlooking the body of JP. I absolutely love the set of this scene because I'm just gonna break it. I'm just gonna frame it, and then I'll throw it to you. So we got Tommy stepping up to ensure that JP's body is taken care of. And this is a connect. This is not no. I mean, I would say, yeah. It's the side hustle of the what do you call them people again? Corners. Thank you. Yeah, it's the side hustle of the corners. I mean, granted, listen, can anybody be mad at them? Y'all dealing with bodies all day. Y'all dealing with people barely paying, and you dealing with insurances and whatnot. Can you be mad at taking a legit lump sum of money?
I'm not going to say how I know how much to pay a coroner yourself if you want to pay it out of pocket, but it's not as expensive as you would think, and they can take care of the body. You don't have to, if you choose to, if you find the right people now and you choose to, it's not that difficult. The body removal is a good price, and working that body up, if necessary, can also be a good price. It don't get overly expensive. It's good to have certain people in your corner that you never know you would need. And this is
most people go as far as a bartender and a lawyer, and maybe even a police officer to sign off for tent tickets.
Exactly. Exactly. You got to think out. Hey, to run an organization, you got to think outside the box. What else would I need? I need a cleanup crew. I'm gonna need somebody who can take care of the bodies. I'm gonna need somebody who could burn the body if necessary. Like these are things you would think of if you're running a bigger enterprise like Tommy is here, especially when that heat can't come back to JP's house. Yeah, because if it does, it's immediately connected back to Tommy after they just raided JP's house the last episode looking for Tommy, and then all of a sudden 3 people dead there. Who you think they're gonna go after?
Yeah, 100%. So he said turn the other 2 to dust. And essentially we understand the business. There's no questions asked. Just take care of it. Do it. Now we have a glimpse in the back. And Lucian, I said this to him in our interview last week. He does a lot without actually having to be front and center. A lot of mannerisms, a lot of just postures and whatnot. You take a look at D-Mac without him even seeing a word, this boy is pissed. Hurt. You see, and he's even got the Arnold meme with the fist balled up, and they should have really zoomed into that. I would have
not with the Joe shaking like
I would have peeked. But with Tommy being responsible here and not being irrational, which we have seen different sides of Tommy throughout his time on power, Tommy being a responsible one, also understanding the hurt that not only he hasn't yet to confront, but that he instantly recognizes what's happening with D-Mac. Yeah, he said, D-Mac, I mean, like, do you want to say anything? Like, I don't know. He's trying to figure this out on the fly. This is not a typical Tommy position here.
Yeah,
and he says, "Nah, I'm good. Let's get the hell out of here."
Yeah, so he's gone already.
You already knew.
That's hard.
Yeah, I think it was very clear by last episode where we knew D-Mac was gone, but I think this confirmed exactly what we know what time D-Mac was going to be on this episode. And I just think it's just a moment to just to always refer back to of the dominoes effects of a character dying. JP now has put D-Mac in this new space, but it's also put Tommy in this new space. It also has put Kate in this new space, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, and I love the Kate having the conversations about losing her other son. Which we talked about last week as well too. Now we get Diamond, who was smacking some cheeks. I didn't think he was really gonna go after Madam Wu, but he got her. Who everybody knows is the Asian connect for fentanyl. I make it also, and I watched the scene one time, but I'm pretty confident. I wrote in my notes that he was on first name basis with her. He didn't call her Madam Wu, but Jenard did when he came in.
I mean, call you Madam Wu, and I'm smashing you. Like, nah, Joe. We will not stay formal while I'm doing that.
I hear you, and I hear me too. But it doesn't mean that she didn't want to be on some like GQ business deal, like, you know, I'm only doing this because of whatever type of thing. That means she kissed the ring to Diamond. Like I told Isaac, I told her, I said everybody on this show revered him. I don't think there was a force on this show that blinked the eye that thought Diamond was weak, that didn't think he was the man in any capacity. The YNs, the OGs, to every block, every corner, Diamond is the top person of this show. And I just thought it was interesting because in any other situation, especially when you're talking about like an Asian connect, like, and I ain't trying to be stereotypical, but let's just go to the Hakuza. You're not calling anybody outside of the name that they're giving you. I don't care what your situation is.
But you're also not smashing one of them. Like, that's just not good. That's not happening. That's not happening. That is not happening here.
Fair enough. Hey, listen, man. She's selling fentanyl. She probably wanted to see what the black crack was like too. And you know what happens when you overdose on that.
You already know what happened now.
She might have paid. She paying for that funeral. She paying for that funeral. An anonymous donor.
Yeah, exactly. This is not stereotypical. This has nothing to do. But Asian people and black people, in a way, do mingle well together in a bunch of different avenues. I know, you know, you grow up in certain neighborhoods in the hood. You heard some people who don't like the point that the carryouts of things of that nature, especially in our area, are mostly Asian run, but it's so much respect that goes along with that too. Like you can't run up in one of them carryouts and do something crazy because you'll hit somebody block, man. You did what to Mr. Lee? Nah, Joe, we gotta take you out because that ain't necessary.
That is a fact.
A correlation between the two that this makes sense. A lot of sense actually that them two would sleep together because Asian women love black men. Like
I do one solid too. Like you talk about the mingle in this area, I've never experienced any type of racial interaction in the Asian setting. I can't say that for every other area, but for sure here, I've never.
Yeah, I think it's mainly here. I mean, in LA, clearly, I saw Menace to Society. Hurry up and buy. Like I've seen Menace to Society, but I've never experienced that in this area, in our area, the DMV. Never experienced that.
Yeah,
it's a very tight, close knit type of situation. Like, you know, we both oppressed. We ain't fitting to oppress each other at that point.
Yeah, you would hope that was the mindset everybody had, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I will say this. She came to CBI headquarters and got her back blown out by Diamond on first name basis. So
on a sofa.
Yeah.
Madam Wu clearly is about that life. She smashed on a sofa, Joe.
I really wanted to kind of know more. Really quickly before I forget too, I was gonna say earlier, like I told Isaac, and I really do hope that him and Chris do some type of discussion about this episode. I mean, clearly the whole series, but this episode alone, there's so much that the two of them and them, the portrayal of the characters, and maybe they got to wait until everything's all said and done. But there's just way too much for them to not talk about and really break down, put into perspective about the movements of these two characters. Because the reason I say that is because right here at this next scene, Jenard hasn't really been the smartest person in most situations, but he comes in and he drops a truth bomb that I would have imagined that if he didn't say it, you were going to say it when we got the discussion to show. He came in there and said, "You're doing the same shit that Tommy is doing with Maria, with Madam Wu." Well, ain't that the damn truth?
Yep. Mixing business and pleasure. That's not supposed to happen.
Now the question is, how did he receive that message? Did he, because some people take stuff to be defensive, and some people take it and they try to understand what's being said, because there's truth in that. So in the truth, there is either a measure of understanding and empathy towards Tommy, because you're like, oh, I see what it is, and maybe it's not the same, but he did say he wanted her. We don't know to what extent, but he said he wanted her and whatnot. And or does he just like, what is my brother talking about? Like, mind your business. You know what I mean? We got other things to worry about.
It's more what I call the superhero complex, and meaning, oh, someone else can do it and it could be a problem. I can do it and I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because when he picked up Jake, said, "Man, I know what I'm doing." That's him saying, like, "Oh no, I'm not Tommy. Like, I can do this. I can mix this business and pleasure and it not affect the business." So it's the blinders on. He's thinking I'm above what can break the normal person won't break me.
Yeah.
Even though he's wrong. Because again, it was something you should never do under no circumstance. And it's just like, once you cross a certain line in business, you can't go back.
Yeah.
But you hear Madam Wu was very clear though about her intentions. Like, hey, I'm not the person you get this call for some stuff like this. I wanted you, I had you. I'm done now.
She'll be back in a week. She's spinning the block. That's what I'm saying. Like, she was talking she got back to the militant approach very quickly, but the first name basis told me everything I needed to know.
Madam Wu just wanted him to know you're my on-call dick. Just understand that. Like, we ain't going out nowhere. We ain't doing nothing. I just smashed on the sofa. We smash in places where people can't see me.
Yeah.
Because again, that's why I think that it was at CBI headquarters, is because who would know she was there? You can't go to a hotel. You can't go to any place where she can be recognized with him.
Yeah.
Because she has other business partners. How would it look to them if you're having sex with someone who you're doing business with?
Maybe good. Who knows? Because Diamond's the top dog, so it could.
But
be
that makes it worse.
It could not be, because we've seen the head of two organizations come together and it just ultimately become a power move. And yes, we have seen it where people can find it as a measure of conflict of interest. So I can't think of examples right now, but I absolutely know that we've seen like heads of two organizations, female. Rock and everybody was trying to have Rock and with Unique, and now we even say that
when people found out they were together, it was like, whoa, no. It just becomes, the only conflict is what other people would perceive it to be.
Yeah.
Madam Wu can keep it exactly the way they see it, but I think Madam Wu understands in the terms of business, hey, it's perception is reality.
Yeah.
Everybody can't see me walking around with you, because then they'll ask questions.
Yeah.
And we're not about, she literally put somebody's hands and body parts in acid.
Yeah.
The type of person who's going to take well the questions being asked.
That's true. But anyway, to get through this scene, so with Jenard coming in, Jenard is honest about everything that happened. He let him know about King Kilo and JoJo being dead, and also Tommy brother being dead. So he's recapping what happened. He's honest, and it's not something I was expecting. I was definitely thinking he was going to throw him some type of side story or whatnot. But even with that, though, he said that, JP was collateral damage because they went in there looking for D-Mac, and he was there and they had to do what they had to do. He also did mention that Tommy heard him on the phone, but for whatever reason, they think this is a good thing. And with that, though, this is Diamond or them just kind of putting together a whole plan about how they can sell this whole story to the RDs and whatnot. But of course, with them, Che's not going to give them the green light to be able to go ahead and retaliate. But this is when they get a crazy idea to align with the Ortega cartel, align with Ortega and the Marquez cartel. And they agree, CBI for life. What a crazy but yet dangerous thing. for them to pull off here. I will say this too. When you said about how it was clear that Diamond was going to would choose to kill his brother in the eye of truth when he was asking if there was anything, I also think he also come to the realization that also working with Ortega too. If your brother's a liability, you think he's going to have a problem? You think he won't have a problem with saying, or if not, I'll do it in front of you and make you watch. But
this was the first time that I think Diamond asked Jenard about being high.
Yeah. And
Diamond knew the answer.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just like, okay. You know, again, as I said before, Diamond, his interaction with Jenard is a lot about asking questions that he knows the answer to. And it's all to see the way Jenard will respond to him. Yeah. And that's the problem here with Diamond. This is the start of the big problem to me with their interactions with one another. And it's letting him know things.
Yeah, that's they know if fans or buts about that. Now we get Shanti, Tommy, and Miguel at Miguel's spot, and they're just doing what they do. Tommy got a gun. He's got the gun for Jenard. We already know this is the gun that he's going to use per the trailer. Oh, by the way, I should also mention this too. Like, you know, I don't typically watch the promo or the next week trailer or anything of that sort. So, but I do remember this gun and this moment being from the initial trailer from the very beginning. So this was a moment in the scene that I could sort of put together, which I knew y'all had already knew and probably already had kind of figured out based on the next week's name, but we don't. Why? This is showdown. I'm not gonna tell y'all or challenge why, but just understand why would we? Just think about that. The Culture Collective, your home for exclusive content. And when I say exclusive, I mean like exclusive. But anyway, where am I at? So anyway, they're trying to figure out now where Jenard could be hiding. And Tommy makes the notion that Shanti, are you protecting him? And she says, I'm about my business, not dick, which is funny because that's exactly what Jenard had said to Diamond. I guess he just underestimated that. Exactly.
When he told Diamond that Shanti is Shanti ain't gonna let no personal shit get in the way of business. You fucked up and thought wrong there, buddy. On the reverse side, she like, oh no, there's no lawyer. But we know what Shanti's end goal is. Yeah. I think it hurt her more, and her reaction to Jenard wasn't because they were sleeping together. It's because he betrayed her, and he betrayed her in business. That made it so much worse for Shanti. Yeah. Here, she just letting Tommy know, like, hey, there is no protecting him. I don't care. Like, we're about our business here, and I want to basically rule everything because that's Shanti's goal. We got to always remember her ultimate goal is to be the person in charge. Yeah, she is not okay being a number two. She is not okay being the next person up. She wants to be the person.
I would only challenge that. I don't think there's necessarily a problem with her being a number two, but I definitely think she values her respect and her identity in any situation that she's in. Because while you can kind of look at this, is she the number one here? No. Is Tommy the number one? Maybe. Miguel could be. But at the end of the day, there's respect across the board. And I also said that measure of respect, the measure of respect that could be gained from Che is going to be monumental to everything that goes beyond that. Who gives a fuck what Tommy says after that when Che already co-signed? Yeah, the Albanians said, yeah, like these are big notions to throw on her resume. To be like, the Albanians was like, you're a woman, but we'd love to work with you. Got to know that's everything Claudia had been working towards trying to be
the whole
with
time.
The Flins. Yeah, that's all I wanted. That measure of respect where it wasn't just like a damn, you're a girl, we're not sure. I mean, you're a Flynn, maybe, I'm not sure. What does your dad say? What about Vic? Everybody's like, Shanti, big organization you running there. We'll love to work with you. So I just think like maybe not less so much of like she needs to be the one, the alpha, the point. I think this has to be like, you got to respect me because I bring it and I have it. And I think that's what she gets from being around it. With Jenard, And as you could imagine, like Jenard, is moment where he kind of got into that situation with the dancer. First thing he tried to say is like, yeah, I'm the one. You'll never be. It's like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Then also the Manny Fresh moment where it was kind of like, you dealing with that crackhead, made her look really, really, really bad. So, yeah. So,
I think
anyway,
is the perfect point of that is her situation with Jenard. It's like George Bush and Dick Cheney. Like, you knew who the president was, but you knew who was running everything. like I don't think forefront need to be number one. I think mentally in business, I need to be number one for Shanti. And number one is still, if it's a trifecta, it's still a number one position. I just don't think she wants to be a sidekick to anybody.
Yeah, 100%. Or the hidden investor, you know, the silent partners. Yeah. Absolutely. Now Miguel says he got word on Ortega's location, but they're not going to go after him yet. And I pretty much think after that, this is just Tommy just making a call saying like, before we go after Ortega, you know, I'm going after Jenard. But then they make the plans like you go take out Ortega to go take out Jenard. And then we still have 6 hours left on Shay's deadline. Now we get CBI and the RDs. There's a lot of conversation between them, and I'm just going to like really quickly sum this up. But like the RDs definitely are here for blood because now they're 1 and they're 2 were taken out, and they want to. I guess Gray Skull is probably like a 2 as well.
Yeah, Gray Skull is like a 2, if not D2.
Yeah, if not D2. Yeah. But JoJo, obviously, and maybe it's just because JoJo's just close and JoJo's whatever. But anyway,
like closest.
Yeah,
I don't think he was number 2 type thing.
Yeah. But yeah, of course they're coming in. They're questioning Jenard about what happened. And with that, though, Jenard spun it in the sense of if he did all this for Kilo. And then they also want to know why should they believe him. And then it just sounds like, I mean, like he's true. Like with all this that Jenard is kind of talking, they want to know like, all right, what happened? Why? And this, it's always something with you. It really sounds like you're the problem. But then, of course, Jenard turns it back that Tommy should be the problem and everything. This is really just nothing but a sense of them trying to pass blame on who did it and what they need to do next. But with that being said, the next question goes back to D-Mac now. And they want to know where D-Mac's at. And they look at Marshall. And then they said, listen, we'll handle it. We'll take care of D-Mac in good faith. And they said, yeah. And then Jenard tells Marshall, you're gonna have to put D-Mac to bed, bro. He won't expect to shoot y'all homies. So and on top of that too as well, I don't know if it was this scene or not, but Marshall right here makes it clear. It's something I said last week too. Like Marshall said, like, that's my brother. This is a lot. Just to be fair, this is a lot of pressure to put on him. But it's also it's the contemplation between, are you CBI or are you going to look after your brother and everything they've been through? And that's where Jenard pretty much, feeds it to him and saying like, are you CBI or not? And he says, yeah, I'm CBI. I said, okay, well then that's your answer. Go get it done. But Marshall 100% did not look convinced here in order to do so.
It's if anyone rewatches this scene while they're having this conversation, after the big thing with Gray Skull, which I absolutely love also with the way they portraying Gray Skull and the RDs here, of them not falling into the trope of power of hearing a different story and just going along with it. They're like, nope. Not only that, even if your other story is true, it's still your fault. And we're going to hold you accountable for it. I absolutely love that because that's the way that's supposed to happen. You can't keep on changing the story up on me and me believe you. And even if that's the case, you can't tell me your partner tricked you into thinking someone else did something. Then you're still the problem because he tricked you and you gave us bad information. So you need to die too. I absolutely love that. Here, I also paid attention to as Marshall is talking and Jenard is talking. Diamond gives a look when Marshall says, "That's my brother," and basically Jenard tells him, "You got to do it anyway." It's a look on Diamond's face when that's said. That said a lot to me about, okay. Everything to me is foreshadowing here when you see it. And you wonder, okay, that's a hell of a thing. The correlation of Jenard telling Marshall, you have to kill your brother for the business. And for Diamond to hear that and him know that possibly that is what he has to do for the business.
Or
it's a whole line that goes through this episode with that.
Or it's the idea, like Shanti said, like, or is it Jenard basically admitting what his intentions have been the entire time?
But I think that conversation with him and Shanti, with Diamond and Shanti, it's running through Diamond's mind this entire episode.
Yeah,
is that conversation,
which is why the conversation was so well done, because Shanti looked focused. She didn't look like she had to convince him. She even doubled down and said, "I'm not going to convince you." So it left him in a brainstorm of like, I don't know what to think or feel, but like there may be a lot of truth here, because Shanti didn't come here to be the bearer of bad news. I went to her and she was like, "This ain't my business no more, but I have you know it. Here's what I can tell you. Do what you want." You know what I mean? And turned her back on him and went back to doing it. So yeah, it's well done. The connection between that moment and this, you're right, is definitely setting a path of things to come later on in this episode. So now we get Bobby and Trina Delgado, from the DEA and whatnot. So we now got word that Ortega was released the morning, and Bobby and her are basically trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to do? First and foremost, no one tried to stop, and there was no room for a refile. And now they're just trying to go back over the RICO case to see if there's anything that they can figure out. But Trina did come to the notion that, remember when Merkovich had that meeting with the lawyer, and he got killed? Well, she dove deeper into that lawyer, and he doesn't exist. Well, we know that lawyer name is Chan, who we know is Sang's lawyer. So anyway, with that, they were trying to say, wait a minute, could the Marquez Cartel be the one that killed Merkovich and Claudia, and could now this have something to do with Stacy? What does Sang think about this? And they said, well, we know he and Vic, he's with Vic right now. And Bobby's looking like, wait, he's like having interrogation time and like no one's watching or anything. So right to the next scene, we get Sang and Vic, and says, Sang wants to know, tell me what you know, Vic. I can cut you a deal. And then, we still got you on that murder charge. But then Vic Love gives him so much clarity, because he's like, oh, remember that witness that you had? I bet she'll recant that story, and you don't have anything on me at this point. And of course, Sang wants to know, well, how'd you pull that off? And all I need to know is what leverage. All I know is you don't have any. Oh, Vic is saying all I know is you don't have any leverage on me. Yeah. And then, of course, with that, it becomes about the blackmail. And now he will shift the focus all to Vic, which is just another threat tactic, scare tactic to him. But he says, nope, I'm sorry. I have an alibi and it's strong. I'm good. And they go, and it says, listen, you're going to say, this is saying to Vic, you're going to say that Stacey Marsh is corrupt, or you will go down for the murder. Still scare tactics, because at this point, he really doesn't have anything of it. And it seems like it's Vic very much true. This is the second time Vic has made a statement that by the viewers, I think it's easy for us to understand, but typically some of the characters forget to point out the reality of all the outcomes in certain situations. But Vic said it and made it very clear. It seems like you're more interested in her being corrupt than who actually did it.
Yeah. Oh.
Someone has you on their payroll. And Sang's like, don't be ridiculous. Well, anyway, framing the story on what Tommy did and trying to get and how he got to Stacy is the whole thing. Then says, listen, I'll give you a written statement and you walk out that door, free man. And then I don't work for you no more. Take it or leave it. And he slides over the notepad and writes a statement. Now, the only question I wanted to ask you was, why was there even a hesitation here? If that's the only thing he wanted, why was there a hesitation about him getting that written statement?
You mean from hesitation on Vic's part?
Yeah, no. From Sang. Vic was the one that I'll give you the written statement, but I'm a free man after this. Like, you're not coming after me no more. But Sang didn't instantly like roll it over like, here you go. He kind of, I don't know.
I just thought that was for dramatic effect.
Okay, cool. That's okay. Just making sure.
I played way more in the point that Vic hesitated a bit after Sang said, you're gonna give me a statement of saying this, and then you see Vic come up and say like, okay, I'll do it, but the reason that I'll do it, but is because he understands you turn in that statement, there's a good chance Tommy's gonna kill you anyway. Like you had a chance to escape Tommy, but if Tommy finds out you turned a statement in on him and you lied in a statement, or if it comes out and it backfires, meaning Vic turns in a statement saying Tommy did all of this, and then he knows that Sang's under someone's payroll. If it comes out that Sang is corrupt, Vic's statement gets thrown out, and it's automatically questioned. Because at that point, you're covering for someone, and you're using Vic to cover. Right? I think Vic is thinking of the blowback that can happen to him from writing a statement, but he understands in this moment, if I do it, I can attempt to escape all of this.
Yeah. I'll come at the Vic in a minute. So Tommy now is looking for Jenard, and when he rolls up on the two, were these CBI or were they RDS people? He rolled up on them, though.
No,
And anyway, okay, yeah.
Diamond beat his ass last episode.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. So like he says, we're all looking for war. Tell me where Jenard is, and then come work for me. And then while one guy says to the flip, the other guy, this is also another really like dope moment. He's like, listen, if I flip, you'll never trust me. So while we're at it, you might as well just get this shit over with. And while it looks like Tommy is going to pull the trigger on him, he pulls the trigger on the dude who said he was going to flip. And then he tells the other dude to go tell Jenard I'm coming for him. Now, Ortega at his crib, which I heard was the preview for next week, that people saw that he is living his best. He got his Versace on at his mansion and doing his whatnot with his chicks and whatever. But anyway, CBI, Diamond and Jenard roll up, and they like, okay, what are you doing here? Considering that Tommy is your partner, and they said we don't work with him anymore. And they said we want Tommy dead, and it should be done by the end of the day. We'll consider it a gift to you. He also wants to know, Ortega, who is this with you? This is my brother. Why they have a knife to his neck? And they say, cool. Well, your brother for my uncle. This also goes back to your theory about like the responsibilities and who's at fault or whatnot. Because I was with Tommy when that happened, and I don't care how it happened. Tommy's at fault. My uncle happened. You were there. Kind of makes it your fault too. I'll take your brother. Yeah. I realize, has anybody pulled a gun? There's been some gun pulling moments, but I'm trying to think, has anybody legitimately pulled a gun at Diamond in the sense of threat? There had to be.
Miguel,
the cop. There's just been plenty of people. Yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah.
Lots of people.
Yeah. I was just gonna say the note was like he didn't go out to Diamond, he went out to Jenard, but I guess it is a sense of like we're the bosses, and since y'all took my uncle, somebody else, blood for blood. I mean,
family gotta die. Like that's all this is. Somebody. I had way more questions about how they just walked up on Ortega for him to be shot if they were in his compound. Like, didn't they have to come through a front door? Like,
I mean, I guess they checked him at the door. Yeah, I guess they check him at the door, and somebody didn't run to Ortega and like, you have guests, But yeah, I feel you. The secretary didn't do their job here.
Exactly.
But it said, my brother, his brother, Jenard, he killed Tommy's brother last night. We're willing to leave the Charlotte cartel to go with the Marquez cartel, and we'll bring the coalition with us. And he says, I thought it was Egan's. Of course, there was a little smirk there. Now I said, no, correlation. Tommy wish it was true. But Ortega makes it clear. Then with that being said, with this agreement, don't go out to Egan. He'll be taken out by me. That's the only way this partnership works. And they agreed. So Tommy walk in, and Miguel calls him and gives him an update on Jenard and Diamond, who have been working with Ortega. And then the RDs roll up, and they try to air him out. But then a van rolls up between them, airs the RDs out, and take Tommy. Did you have any clue who it was at this moment?
No, I was.
Me neither.
So I'm like, wait a minute.
Me too.
Snatching them up. That's the RDs, and it's very clear that they say they're the RDs. Who the hell is snatching Tommy up?
I didn't
know
bro.
Who the hell this was at the time.
Me neither. All right, so moving on. Now, I already know y'all are gonna be like, I knew who it was. Y'all always Mr. and Mrs. Know-it-alls. Y'all always do. Anyway, Tommy, with Tommy being caught and he's yelling, but Tommy also did recognize exactly where he was at. It wasn't apparent to me exactly where he was at, but he did. And he's yelling, and then he yells out Miguel because it looked like Miguel's spot. and indeed it was Miguel's spot, and indeed right behind him was Miguel. And of course I popped crazy right here. And if y'all don't know what pop means, pop is like a word for like got excited and yelled or whatever. It's a wrestling term, I think. But they were back to back. I was like, yes. They're doing the back to back thing now. Finally. But Miguel, even in this moment, said, I told you I got your back. I don't know what the ripple effect of that statement is. And I don't think there was a lot of emphasis on it, but that's a really big moment of like loyalty and truth, even in the biggest and toughest moment of saying, I wasn't going to flip or turn snitch or whatever. Because Miguel, a couple of episodes ago, was definitely doing that. He's already played both sides a few times. So, yeah. So, and when I say both sides, like both sides in the sense of like telling Maria one thing, doing another.
And trying to kill Tommy behind the back. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But with that being said, it's Che. It was Che who was responsible for kidnapping them. And he said, y'all motherfuckers don't listen. And Miguel says, he tried to accept responsibility by saying, I went after Ortega myself.
Yep.
And then Tommy saying, I don't think you're seeing the big picture here. CBI flipped on you. They got in bed with Ortega, who's also working with Madam Wu. And Che, you know I'm all about loyalty, but I think you got the wrong motherfuckers in these chairs. And he does let them go in a very sinister, laughing, okay, yeah, let him go. With that being said, though, he still, again, with another threat. Next time you disobey me, I'm going to stab Maria above the heart. But Che gives them the green light. And until every penny is served, Miguel stays. Also, at the same, as soon as Tommy walks out, D-Mac was blowing up his phone. Yeah. And Shanti, he told Shanti to take the money to Che now because he needed the money to go to Che in order for he could let Miguel. It's a lot of good sign of faith here. There's a lot of things that I know y'all don't even care about, but there's a lot to make here. Like think of the ripple effect. Tommy, they got the green light, so war is coming. Yeah. Tommy, first priority was to ensure that Miguel got out. He didn't even call D-Mac here. He noticed the D-Mac message and he called Shanti and said, go get Miguel. And then on top of that, Tommy, I guess, for the sake of just understanding the bigger picture, also understood that Shanti going to see Che had also limited liability to things because that is one of those type of things where I think he got Che's ear and trust to understand, like, hey, trust us. We're seeing everything that's happening here. Don't worry about the new face that's bringing you the money. The money's here. You know what I mean? And he knows Shanti can hold it down. But we got to get things going because war is on the doorsteps.
Not only that, it's that Che has no other choice. Like, we got to really pay attention to the point that technically the moment Diamond left, who else is Che moving drugs through? I think it scared him more when Tommy said, oh, because the Marquez Cartel and they're about to push you out.
Yeah.
You won't have any foothold in Chicago at this point. And we already know from past conversations with Che as it pertains to the Marquez Cartel, they don't have the bodies for them. Che understands that. So once he's moved out, he's moved out. Threatening Tommy didn't make no sense. Because at this point, if Tommy left you, you have nothing. You can't threaten me. That's why Tommy looked at him crazy when he said he would stab Maria.
Yeah.
Tommy's thinking, no, I would kill you first. And you have no recourse if I did so.
Let me first of all, shout out to Kimi. Y'all know who she is. Chronicles of Power. I recapped episode 4-8 with her, and she said something that I expected her 100% to say. I fully agree, and it's something that I'll be honest that we've never said. And I'm really surprised you haven't said it. But as soon as she said it, I don't know if you listened to that episode yet, but like I referenced you a few times in it. But like this exact moment here about Che and his false threats, where he doesn't have the body, he doesn't really have the muscle to be set because you need them. You know what I mean? At this point, She said something that's so true. She said if this was Ghost, Ghost would have been took him out. Ghost first plan would have said get Che off the board.
Yeah, first plan. Very first plan. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I did not. Yes, 1,000% so. Not only that, it goes back to us saying the same thing of people always painted Tommy as the crazy loose cannon, and that was not always the case. Because that would have been Ghost damn sure would have went to hey, he got to go. He got to die. Yeah, Ghost did not like fake threats towards him at all.
Now, just for shits and giggles here, if Che had made that threat to Ghost, who would he have said he's gonna put that knife against? Would he have said
Angela?
He wouldn't have said Tasha.
Nah, because Ghost would have been like, okay.
Fair enough.
You got to threaten the one that he loves. You can't threaten the one that he smushes. Like, that's not a real threat. That is not a real threat to him.
Yeah.
You never know what Ghost actually, because he may have just took it as disrespect. It wouldn't necessarily admit the person doesn't matter. It's the threat that matters to him.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and watch the original Power, a lot of it, the threats that people made towards Ghost at times affected people that Ghost did not like or that he was at odds with. But he just took an issue that you would even think about threatening me in any shape, form, or fashion. Yeah. And then you got to die.
Yeah. Yeah. Back at the CBI headquarters now, the RDs roll up with Grayskull and they say, listen, Tommy just took out. Okay, first of all, I'm going to say this, but you tell me what you think. Tommy took out 5 of the RDs. How the fuck did he get the drop? Tommy took out 5 of the RDs?
Yeah, that's. But remember though, the RDs don't know. All they know is that they rolled up on Tommy and all of them were dead. So they don't necessarily know who did the shooting.
Fair, yeah.
Like they don't know. Remember, the RDs are in the dark. All they know is we rolled up on Tommy and all of our people are dead.
Yeah.
So it makes it look like Tommy got the drop on him.
Yeah.
Because other than that, who the hell would have done it?
True
so
that.
To them, information had to leak out that we were going after Tommy for him to have the drop. It made perfectly good sense at that moment for Grayskull to say that, because it makes it seem like you're feeding him information. Because how did he even know Tommy should know we're after him?
Yeah. And I will say, like, in the other eye of like, well, how did Che and them get the drop? Well, Che has been, I would say, we could just say Che has been trailing Tommy after he realized that, well, first of all, Che is seeing what they're doing, going after Ortega.
But Che said that. He said, I follow both of y'all.
Yeah, exactly. So, but also Tommy was just kind of wide open too. So like he was supposed to get got right here. Like he was not being discreet at all. And that blue Mustang definitely has caused more problems than solutions this entire season, especially this episode.
I don't understand. That Mustang caused him problems in New York.
It has New York tags to Chicago.
Exactly. I'm gonna need Tommy to just get a new car.
Oh,
like just get a Tesla, something. A Tesla. Get something that sneaks up on people. It sounds like a spaceship landing. Yeah, like something.
Imagine Tommy looking like Elon, driving Elon car. Like, yeah, that's gonna stand out there. And also, All right, but yeah, I mean,
a drive-by outside, and you hear something that sounds like a spaceship pulling up, and you're like, and then all of a sudden bullets come out that motherfucker. Clearly, it's gonna surprise you. Clearly, it's gonna surprise you.
Hey, Tubi, do Lord's work.
You already know.
Do the Lord's work, Tubi.
Tubi, I've probably got a whole series on this already. Instead of Ghost, it's called Spirit, and we know how this is gonna go.
But yeah, so with Grayskull coming in, he says, all I know is C4 is dead, and they're pointing guns at each other. And Diamond tells everybody to put the guns down. We're gonna figure this out. And says, you're gonna take me to his ass right now. Grayskull, but says, no, we can't, because we're in business with the Marquez Cartel. And even if I was gonna do it, you're not thinking rational. This is Ortega's kill. He also want to know, like, when did this happen? It's like, just an hour ago. But it's like, fine.
Yep.
Sounds like their DMAC wasn't in that discussion. So but they said the DMAC thing is in motion. And then, of course, Grayskull, I'm tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of y'all bullshit. I listen, head by the end of the day. Listen, I want to head by the end of the day, or we're out, and y'all just going to end up being at war with another crew. I mean, Grayskull's that guy.
Yes.
He's that guy.
We needed this to happen much sooner.
Man, I said that
he is so much more menacing than like Kilo was big. That's it. Like Grayskull is very direct, and we already knew that from when he beat the shit out of Jenard before. Like he's very direct in what he thinks and how things are supposed to operate here.
Do you think Big Baby can act?
No.
The internet clearly do not like his acting. You know, I don't even care because acting or not,
big and menacing.
Yeah, he's also about that life. So I don't even care.
I mean, because if we start complaining about people being on shows and not having the best ability to act, come on now. We're not going to do that.
Because maybe his acting isn't for television purposes, but he damn sure is about that life in real life. So he has the instinct. He maybe just didn't slice it together, you know?
We can't fully blame him when technically he only had, 4 scenes in the whole series? Like, they told him to be big and menacing. Grayskull spoke more this episode than King Kilo spoke in the entire series.
Yeah.
And he's speaking from a street dude's perspective completely. And that's what makes this so realistic. And that's what makes this character so interesting. Oh man, I'm mad that this ends in one episode because I would want to see a lot more of the way he thinks.
Yeah.
It's like they gave Grayskull the thoughts and the words that the audience would have while watching this. Yeah. Like he's questioning everything an audience person will watch while they're watching this episode. Like, well, why would you believe that? Hey, how did Tommy get a drop on him? And I know. He like, man, look, we're going to war if we don't get what we want.
Yeah.
And I've been too nice about this already. Like, it's a very direct thing. And you got to give them credit for this character, highlighting him this late in a series when normally it's about wrapping up everything.
Mm-hmm. I just went and took a look at his IMDb, you know, clearly from Chicago, did Chicago PD, did a movie Faithless, I Got Problems, Velvet, and Power Book 44. So, you know, a very small resume, but I dig him. I think I look forward to seeing some more of K.I. is his name.
He needs to be on somebody's show in some type of role similar to this.
Yeah.
He is killing it in his scenes.
Something with aggression. I don't want to like typecast him, but something with aggression.
No, he could be in a suit and tie and still be aggressive. Like it ain't gotta be. We ain't gotta go down a route where you always gotta be the city gangster.
Yeah.
Like, that's unnecessary.
Yeah. No doubt. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to KI. And of course, yeah, Chicago native. All right, now we get Vic and Ray, which it looks like is Vic getting ready to have his happy ending. They're boarding the G5. They got their champagne. They toast saying goodbye to Chicago and to freedom. But of course, we get the dramatic pull of Vic looking here. What the hell is about to happen? Is Vic ass getting off this plane? It's Vic making dude that he's leaving everything behind, which I don't think that matters because he never cared about it in the first place. This ain't the first time he tried to leave, but like, where are we going here with Mr. Vic?
I'm gonna ask a question to you, then, my brother. In the history of power, has anyone on their way out drunk champagne and survived the end of a series? Has that ever happened?
I just hope
it happens often where people think it's over with, and then all of a sudden, something horrible happens.
I just think that, I agree. But you know, one more episode to go. I don't think we need Vic. I will say this though. I would say this. Take power out of it. Has anybody escaped on the G5 with champagne and they get off that runway? They get off that tarmac.
Exactly. That's the problem right there.
Now, I don't necessarily. I don't know. Do you think Ray might be a snitch?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think it's Ray. I think this is all a setup. I'm not even gonna say snitch. I think Ray works for someone else. And Vic ain't just put 2 and 2 together yet.
Yeah. Now, what would Vic be guilty of here? Now he killed his buddy, which I don't think she knows. But he has pillow talked a bunch of stuff.
I believe she could be, and I thought about it earlier when they first introduced her in the way they did. I always thought that she could be part of the Irish people from overseas, and they're watching Vic, and now they're watching Vic turn his back on everything, which means you're turning your back on our business. What do we need you alive for? Like the Flynn name is no longer any use to us at this point.
And they finally wipe him off the map, the whole family, the whole bloodline.
Like, I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Because again, why would Vic need a happy ending? Makes no sense.
He lost Gloria, man.
For him to get one. Tommy lost Gloria,
and I lost Gloria too.
We all lost. Gloria was mourned by us all. Okay, Vic ain't the one.
I just haven't been right ever since then. I was like, golly, like,
damn,
Vic, how you dropped the bag like that, man? That was a monument. That's a Patriots Falcon fumble of all time. Like, how'd you blow the lead, bro? Like,
but he had already given her up to Tommy, so it was already
Tommy Brady. He did.
Messed up. Yeah, he'd already given her up. But like, yeah, I think like I don't foresee this being a happy ending for Vic, but I also think a lot of it's going to correlate back to the statement that he turned in and how that plays out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I hope he doesn't do no like heroic, like, oh man, I gotta go back, man. You know, it's not gonna be safe for you, whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what happens next week with Vic. Now we get Tommy at JP house. D-Mac's not there, but he did have guards there. They were visible. Interesting to see that finally, because clearly the Albanians didn't do the job.
So you say, you know what?
Niggas.
No more Albanians. Yeah. Give me some niggas. Give me some niggas. No more Albanians.
It's crazy. Now Maria's there, and what do we have it? I also know this was probably part of the thing as well too. I did see it's part of the like some of the still photos released. I don't know why they would. I don't know. Is it me? But do you feel like giving Kate away and not having that element of surprises?
I'm gonna say this: did they release it as
you know, they
just drop the stills? Because some of the stills don't drop until after the show airs.
Nah, yeah, but these were all beforehand. This is just early stuff that I felt like they should have just kept. But Kate's here. And I'll just say, because Kate is, and like we all love Kate. The character is conflicted, she's complicated, she's problematic, but she's the mother. So you got that measure of like heart and love and sympathy for her. Exactly. And ultimately, she is the connective tissue to the legacy properties and legacy characters. Patricia has been acting her ass off for many, many years. And
killing it every which way but loose.
Yeah. just so y'all put some respect on her too, like many years and tons of iconic like movies and shows and so on.
Exactly.
So you know, I'm glad that she's able to have a full run too at that. I mean, she makes it to this, she makes it through this. I can see her being on Legacy. I can see her doing the pop-up right now.
Why would she not be?
Yeah. You
like,
you're
why
right.
would she not be?
You're right.
Like Kate is that forever character that you can implant her in any. Like, I'm surprised we didn't get a full flashback of her on Raising Kanan yet. Like, she could be on all these shows technically.
Oh, don't forget too that young Kate was casted for
Origins.
So yeah, I would imagine they'd do some crazy trippy things, or you know, there may be some measure. Either way, behind the camera, in front of the camera, Patricia is going to be has been very vital to the success of the show. The character Kate will definitely always be one of my favorites. But yeah, her being here, I just felt like giving it away like that. Come on, man, give us the shock value. We're all waiting for these characters to show up and be in the same space. As much as we're wanting Tariq and anything like that, we also want Kate to also be like an element of surprise. We know she was coming. It was just a measure of how and when it was going to happen. But Kate's there, and Maria was the one that called her. And I love this conversation between mother and son, because Tommy instantly is like, why are you here? And Kate, by means of her therapy, has said, I know what you're doing. You're pushing me away. You have to pretend like you're not hurting. I taught you to do these things, you know. But while I'm here, because of course I should be here, you know, her son was dead and has to be buried. She wants to be of service. Now I was triggered when she says, now just give me some money so I can go get a casket. Because the first thing I said to myself,
drugs,
100%. But she wants to be of service, and she's going to go do the clothes and whatnot and whatever. But yeah, as Maria was the one that says, like, her son's dead. She has the right to be here. And Maria says, I'll handle your mom. And then Diamond texts Tommy and says, we need to talk. And they're going to meet at the Riverwalk, because who in Chicago? This is the first time I think this is the first time they've been to the Riverwalk. They had to done this before. But like
Stacy and Vic.
Oh, true that. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, Riverwalk, because Chicago, you have to do tourist things.
Where else would you go?
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm surprised they ain't been to the Bean yet. But anyway, he texts D-Mac to want to know where D-Mac's at. So only thing I want to do here is that the Tommy and Diamond meet. You didn't think it was going to happen. We'll talk about it when they get there. But it's happening. I just want to know, when you saw that this was happening, what was your reaction?
It was before the conversation started. It was confusing to me why Tommy would even want to meet Diamond. Like, or what in reverse? Why would Diamond want to meet Tommy? We already know what the problem is. The problem is Tommy wants your brother dead. You're not going to be able to talk him out of that.
Yeah.
And even during that conversation, he kind of brings that up. He said, D, you know me better than that. Like, Tommy's bringing up, like, no. So it was confusing to me of the meetup, or if this was just like one last meet before we kill each other. Like, it's one or the other, but it just didn't make sense at the time why they would meet up. The conversation they had made perfectly good sense. But even meeting up with somebody in that situation wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
For him to send that text to Tommy to meet, and for Tommy to respond so fast about meeting up, both of them were weird to me.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Yeah, we'll get to it. Maria and her bond with Kate. Interesting. I have a thought when we get there, but
shit.
It also will say that Maria is doing God, I gotta think of, I was about to say the laundry. That's definitely not the way I want to play that, but the housekeeping, I should say, in terms of like keeping the other things that Tommy seemed to neglect. Yeah, keeping that in order. Yeah.
While he's off doing what he needs to do, she's maintaining the house.
Yeah, she's pulling her weight for sure.
And that don't mean necessarily cooking and cleaning. That means I'm managing your mom. I'm managing these people here. I'm maintaining our front while you take care of business.
Yeah, and the funeral stuff, you might just say as well too. Whatever responsibilities is involved in that, you know.
Yeah.
Now we get Shanti and Che. Shanti's dropping off the money, introduces herself. She's standing strong. She's looking confident, and she's standing on business. And Che doesn't question a goddamn thing. And all he says is, "Tell Tommy he's very lucky to have you to save his ass. Next time, make sure he's with you, because I don't know what I'll do to your ass." I just think Che is out here selling wolf tickets at this point.
Clearly,
I'm just not buying anything from this guy.
No one should believe anything Che says at this point.
Do you think there's a play to take Che out at some point?
Eventually, yes. But again, it all depends on how big this thing for Chicago needs to be. But Tommy would take him out for sure. Shanti wouldn't, because there's no need to. I think it's, to her, again, it's about respect. As long as Che respects her, she will be perfectly fine working with him. Yeah. And it's also the same case with Miguel. Like, Miguel has been working with Che for God knows how long. They have a different form of relationship here. I'm pretty sure Miguel is used to hearing these wolf tickets all the time. Like, you can't keep on. You got to cash in eventually on the wolf ticket for it to be realistic.
Yeah.
Like a parent always saying, "I'm gonna whoop your ass, I'm gonna whoop your ass," and it never happens. Yeah. And then you see the child, you see what happens with the kid, because that's what's going on here with Che and everybody else, because no one believes that he's a threat, except for now the RDs, because he killed all of them.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah. All right, so now we see Marshall and inside his apartment, the door knocks, and of course it is D-Mac here. And there's a lot between the brothers here. Marshall's letting D-Mac know you need to get out of town. Of course, D-Mac want to know where Jenard is with this stuff. Pay close attention to what's happening in terms of the sound effects, because there's a heartbeat that is being piped in terms of the noise, in terms of really amplifying the scene. And it's D-Mac's heart, who we hear D-Mac heart, which is really fast adrenaline until it eventually slows down. Now, with that being said, Marshall can see exactly what the deal is, because this ain't just hothead D-Mac anymore. He's here and he wants answers, and he might be taking names. And then we get the brother conversations. Hey bro, we've been bros since 6. You know what I mean? And you know, you need to speak, because he killed my father and we supposed to be brothers. But then with that being said, he holds a gun to him. Marshall holds a gun to D-Mac and says, I'm done protecting you. Same thing he said last episode. And then D-Mac says, go ahead and do it. Get it out. Do what you got to do. And he says, no, I'm sorry. D-Mac says, do it. But then Marshall said, get out. And I'll tell them that I ain't find you. And then he says, what, are you scared to shoot me? He says, nah, but you've been my boy since 6, right? So you know Marshall ain't been scared of shit. I just don't want to kill you. I can't kill you. I love you, bro. But I just can't fuck with you no more. Honestly, boundaries. He kind of just was like, he took the mature way of handling this. You know, he's like, just can't fuck with you no more, you know? But as we said, D-Mac wasn't the D-Mac that we know D-Mac to be. This was super important about what we saw in the beginning of D-Mac just being a whole new type of mindset since seeing his father being put in that bag and ready to, you know, be put in the ground. And that's why the heart rate thing being piped in is different, because you don't see him just on adrenaline and underwear. He was on adrenaline that last time where they were just throwing, you know, jabs at each other. And then they realized, like, oh, damn, I went too far. I kind of set in. And I think everybody can kind of relate to the moment of like being hot or being hot-headed or being in the moment where you're just so hyped that you're not really being rational about what's happening around you. Well, D-Mac got that out the way very quick. He's super rational right now in terms of how he's feeling and what he's set to do. So with that being said, then D-Mac pulls the gun and says, I'm not playing, Marshall. And I instantly popped again, because I was like, oh, you can see what's happening here, and there's not going to be a curve or a swerve or any of that of the sort. And he says, I can't tell you, Marshall, and this is in regards to Marshall saying where Jenard is at. And he's looking at him, and he says, and then he's trying to say, well, you can't either. You can't pull the gun. He says, we're brothers. And then D-Mac, one big little, I was like, oh, that's it. And that was it. Yep. Shoot him in the head. And it was interesting because when he shot him in the head, the blood splatter shoots on the refrigerator where you see pictures of the two of them on the refrigerator together from childhood. And you look at the zoom in on D-Mac, with the first thing you thought was going to happen, didn't. Not a tear in sight. No, this was a stone cold kill right here, where he knew what he needed to do. And much like it was said earlier about Jenard, T-Mac seemed to have gotten the memo, but it just showed you his love for his dad superseded anybody who couldn't be loyal to him. He gave him an opportunity. And let's just be clear, what's being said here is like, I can't tell you because I choose CBI over you. Yeah. Well, that's as good as somebody who owes you money saying they can't pay you, but you see them on Instagram in Mexico. You're like, oh, okay. Say less. Because what you say you're broke? Oh, okay, cool. You looking very lavish on that with the
see-through boat.
Yeah.
In that see-through boat. Yes, you are. Look at you having so much fun.
You got the drone package, I see. Oh, you upgraded it too. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay. Very much.
Yep.
Noted.
Yeah, but this was what made this scene so great is that I know a lot of people first reaction would have been to think that D-Mac was being a hothead. But if you listen to the conversation was basically every opportunity I'm gonna give you to tell me where this man is who killed my father. And if you're my brother, my actual brother, and you actually love me, and you know how much this hurts me, why would you hide this from me? Yeah. Why would you pick them over me? So the moment Marshall told him, I can't tell you that, it was over. Because you're not my brother at this point. Because now I know if rubber meets the road ever again, you're going to pick CBI over me.
Yeah.
And that's not going to work. So you have to go.
Yep. 100%. Now we get Kate and Maria, and they're just looking for clothes for JP. And Kate says, I can't believe I'm burying another son. And then she instantly goes into the story of Tommy's friend Ghost, Jamie, and talked about how the drug gang got to him as it got to JP. And with Maria saying, I can't imagine what you're going through, losing a child. And Kate instantly picks up that she's pregnant. And of course, she's cheers. She's happy, very happy. And have a bond together. And then Maria wants to basically know, Kate, well, how do you get through all of this? Is it at the bottom of a bottle or cocaine? But even that's not working anymore.
I love that she said that.
Yeah. And then she says, like, you know what? We figure it out. We always do. And I think that was just a side of saying what mothers endure in terms of like getting through in life, taking the next step ahead and moving forward. This is a key moment where we're not going to talk about yet. Now we get Bobby, who is with Sang, and says, well, wait a minute. What's up with Vic? He said, well, he didn't know anything. He had a rock solid alibi. I'll just stop there real quick. Vic said he had an alibi, but he never used it.
Sure enough, didn't. Never brought it up who his alibi was.
But Sang went on a limb and said he did. What do we make of this? What do we make of this?
We know exactly what to make of this. Like,
oh no,
we constantly brought up. Oh, you talking about Sang knowing who Vic's alibi is? I don't think he knows who Vic's alibi is.
No, I know, but he stood on it where Bobby said he had a rock solid alibi.
Oh yeah, because he got the information he needed. He didn't give a fuck who Vic's alibi was.
Do you think
he needed to pinpoint that Stacy was bad?
Yo, do you think Ray works for the Ortega? Works for Ortega?
Hey, that's what you think? No, because again, there's no reason for the Ortega cartel to keep eyes on Vic. They don't need eyes on Vic. Vic is not important to anybody in the cartel sense. So no, I don't think she.
I mean, I don't know. I just spun this idea, but like, could they have been concerned about what Vic and his cooperation could be helping with keeping Ortega in jail?
No, because they thought it was Claudia. Like they never put two and two together that Vic had anything
brother
to do
and
with.
sisters, though. I mean, it's
they try to kill each other, and they still know that they still try to kill each other.
Yeah.
Now here's the weird part, and I know I said her possibly being part of the Irish mob. What happened is she's working with the DA's office, and all of this is just to keep eyes on Vic.
Yeah.
So she would know that statement that Vic turned in is a lie.
Ooh. Yeah.
And if she knows that, and then they land somewhere, and they're waiting for him because he turned in that false statement because he's working with Sang, and they put two and two together. Because again, we saw this episode. A lot of what we've been bringing up about Sang is all coming to fruition.
Yo,
if it all comes to a head, Vic is collateral damage in that.
And if you know who would be there to pick Vic up.
The one who went away.
The one that went away. Yep. Hartwick.
Hartwick. Yep.
Anywho, so now Bobby's saying like, but did he say what he right? Like did Tommy got to Stacy, and said Vic gave him a statement. And gives motives but no evidence, not enough for an arrest. So why did you let him why didn't you let me get a crack at Vic?
Yeah, he's right too.
He's very right. And he says, I let him go. And he said, you what? But anyway, he said, we can pick up Vic at any point after we get Egan. Let me build a case against him. Let us do our job. And he says, you can't go after Egan. You gonna this is hold on. He said, you can't go after Egan. You're gonna help the defense. Oh, right. So this was what's her name saying, like, all right, Bobby, and this is something I think you brought up before, maybe, or maybe I was thinking, I can't remember, but she's entirely right, Trina Delgado, that like the closer Bobby get, there does become a small measure of conflict of interest that the defense will absolutely use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because right now what's at stake is like, who killed Stacy, and was Stacy compromised by any means? And it's either a play of, was it Tommy, was it the cartel, and the ripple effects of decisions that have been made because of that. And Bobby, you getting close means that you're protecting Stacy, which you could be protecting her, and she actually was compromised, and then that makes you compromise. And
it's everything that we brought up beforehand about, especially when I brought up about him taking that phone to protect her. All of it's now coming out because he's seeing with blinders on.
Yeah.
You have Delgado constantly telling him, this looks like a cartel hit. Like, no matter how you put it, this looks like a cartel hit. And you're not seeing it that way because you have blinders on for Egan. But if you go anywhere near this, I'm going to slap cuffs on you. And that was the trigger point, especially when she told, this is the same conversation where she told him, if you want to get on Egan, you need to find out who this person is who was going to see Ortega. Find out who he is. And she gave him a location that he's always at. But find out who he is, because that's the only way you're going to be able to go after Egan, is by finding him and eliminating this man off the board as a suspect.
Yeah. So after that, Trina says, like, listen, also, I ran that lawyer's face, and and we could build a case that the Marquez Cartel was behind it. But anyway, if you go anywhere near Egan, I'm gonna put cuffs on you. But you can see now that basically Delgado's like, hey, lay off of Egan. Let us do what we got to do. You get too close to that, you're just gonna help the defense. Let's do our job. I may have something for you because I ran this guy's face, and it may be something else. So yeah. Anyway, now we get Diamond and Tommy, who meets. For the folks out there that may have saw this clip before the episode airs, yes, this is our exclusive clip of this moment between the two of them. And we're just they're now trading off what they feel was the bold moves that were made here. And let me first of all, well, I'm gonna go through the moments. I'm gonna tell you what I think. But Tommy and Diamond, or just Tommy saying this, like, Chicago was big enough for the both of us, and in order for peace, the price of peace for my brother, your brother for my brother, and there won't be no peace because, well, Ortega wants me dead, which Tommy's saying, and I get it. You're scared that I was going to get to Jenard before Ortega gets to me. That's why he made this meet. And if you leave, and then Diamond said, if you leave Jenard alone, I think I could get him to back off. And he says, no, he's a business. He said, well, he's a businessman. He knows the price of peace, but there is no price of peace other than your brother's head. And Diamond says, Tommy, how did we get here? And Jenard is the reason we're here. And Diamond now says, we never had a real partnership. And then Tommy says, what do you talk about? We were 100% partners. We could have took over the whole city, the Midwest. We still could. But you just had to let Jenard fuck everything up. He says he's my brother, and he said, well, JP's mine. It's fair trade. Well, I ain't gonna stop till Jenard's dead. I'm not going to let you kill my brother. A lot of things you didn't think I was gonna pull off, and I did. So my quick thing is that with all of this, I mean, brother for a brother, I think we all agree here. Yeah. But Tommy understanding that, like, or even giving a notion that they still could work together is interesting. Very interesting. And this is now a measure of Diamond business and or his brother in order to do so. But I also think in this moment as well, too, something I was kind of thinking about is that he said we weren't really partners. I think more so than ever, did they realize that not only were they partners, but they were closer than partners. And I don't think they're willing to say it because I think at the end of the day, there's a little bit of trauma on both sides for them because Tommy admitting that Diamond was his brother or anything easily makes him reminisce the idea that he had to kill he was damn near going to kill his brother in Ghost. Tariq was the one that pulled it, but no, to get to that emotions of having to do so, which in this case, he realizes that there may be an opportunity that if you're not going to let me get to your brother, he may have to go through him. And I also think that Diamond realizes that he was his brother, and to the point that he realizes that he was his brother is the reason why he lost sight of Jenard, who was truly his brother there the entire time, and all of the liability that he was, regardless of so. Which again, Isaac broke this scene down masterfully to me. So I'll let y'all look at the interview and y'all give y'all thoughts and whatever. But I do think that the whole thing is that like this is definitely a sort of come full circle moment between everything we got from the very beginning to right now, that to imagine that these two are on opposite ends of the table, there is no measure of peace. They kind of reflect on everything they had, everything they could have, and what ultimately is going to be the future if business isn't handled the way it's supposed to be handled here. And he took my brother, then your brother also has to be at hand. And if you're not going to give it up, then at this rate, it is what it is.
Yep.
What's your thoughts about this scene? Now that initially you didn't agree with the meetup, but now that you see it in the things that were said, what were sort of your thoughts about everything?
It's weird. It's a good scene the way it's composed. It still felt like it's the same thing we always knew. Tommy's whole thing is we're not together because of your brother. And I think this is the realization for Diamond that, technically that is why we're not together. Like, it is Jenard. It's nothing else. It never was business because their business was always solid. It was never their relationship because their relationship was always solid. But the moment he started injecting Jenard into stuff all over again, it caused a problem.
Yeah.
And now he has to live with the point that technically this is your brother's fault. We're not running this together because of your brother. And your brother killed mine. So in the end, I'm going to kill him no matter what. So you have to decide now how you're going to go about things. And by Tommy still saying we still could be partners, you just got to give up your brother. And that's something that Diamond is struggling with.
Yeah.
Again, I do still believe in the end, if everything didn't happen the way it did, Diamond would have ended up taking out Jenard himself anyway. But this is still a struggle point for him. Because are you choosing your blood brother over your partner who became like a brother? Or are you choosing your partner who became like a brother over your blood? Knowing in the back of your mind also that your blood brother was going to kill you. Multiple times Jenard tried to kill Diamond. So this ain't like something like it never happened before. He tried to kill Diamond multiple times. And then you heard from the person that your brother was the closest to, that the plan was to take you out and take over your organization. All of this is running through Diamond's head at the same time with his conversation with Tommy.
Yeah.
And that's the problem there. He came here to try to strike peace, but you can't strike peace when there is no hope of it because of what your brother did.
Yeah.
Because if JP was still alive, this could have been easily solved.
Yeah. Super facts. It's super facts there. Yeah, very much so. Jenard and CBI now, they're getting ready. And Jenard want to know what the 911 text is about. And because his marshal's dead and he's pissed, he says he's gonna handle it himself. And everybody peep and even mentions that he's high as a kite. But of course, Jenard being Jenard. D-Mac and Genesis now. Now D-Mac is going off, not really going into detail, but not really affirming what he's talking about to her about him killing Marshall, and she's slightly putting it together, but and he also mentions I'm Tommy's number 2 in that. So D-Mac is just swirling after he just did his thing. Now we get Kate driving the Mustang by herself without security. But I would imagine, and I know what Tommy says later on this episode. Why didn't nobody go with her? It's Kate. Of course, Kate's like, I'm okay.
I'm fine. I don't need any of you all with me. Yes, it's Kate. We already
Yeah,
know.
100%. But Jenard rolls up on her and chokes her out and says, "You're the piece of shit that brought him into this world." And she yells and yells, and he eventually runs away. Is there anything to make of that? Like, did he like realize what he was doing?
Jenard
Was he in a
realize that-
trance?
When did Jenard meet Kate?
Oh, he spotted the car. He probably just put 1 and 2 together.
So it's a random white woman, and because she's driving.
I mean, but listen, but listen. But no. But listen to what you're saying, though. That's exactly right. Maybe that's exactly why he realized, like, I don't know if I should kill this person or not.
No. Keep in mind, he's high as shit.
For sure.
Logic ain't in the way in the room at this point because he's so.
I wouldn't say logic, but I think there's still a measure of contemplation on like what to do because, like, yeah, if anybody's saying, like, for me personally, I'm like, Kate's dead here. There's no way she gets out of this. Either he goes in a rage snap and he kills her. He kills the wrong person because he thought it was somebody, or he kills the right person because he was firmly right. But at the end of the day, the cop siren, he's not really sure, and he's high. It's exactly, I feel, how this scene should have played out, and it wasn't like really extending disbelief of like Kate survived this. Like,
oh no, she was supposed to survive this, 100% so.
Yeah,
this is the first time that we can say this in a positive fashion on this show. White privilege saved Kate's life. There is no way in hell on a metropolitan street you are going to strangle a white woman and something good is going to happen for you. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Like,
yeah,
it felt like that was a realization as he was doing it. Like, oh, this is a white woman. Wait, nope. Let me get the hell out of here. I hear police sirens. They're not even going to ask questions because she's screaming for help, and I'm a black man. Immediately, they're going to arrest me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm lucky that they don't just shoot me. Like, they're not going to ask questions. You know, we've seen Kate use the white privilege before in the original Power series. Yeah, like Kate ain't crazy now. she know when to use that card when it's necessary.
All right, so now we get Tommy rolling back up to the house and seeing that Kate has been choked. She basically identifies Jenard. He easily put it together. And then this is really, really, really funny see to me because with this, Tommy's like, listen, pack your shit. We're going to Miguel's. Maria face said, say less. You can see it right in her face. It's like, yeah, we up out of here. He said, we're not going to let, Kate says, we're not going to let that force us to leave. And we have a baby on the way. And then it's when Tommy hears what she says. And then Maria's like, what? We talked. And then he says, all right, hurry on. I thought this was interesting that Tommy really did let this go, but I think this goes back to, again, Maria taking care of housekeeping, putting that side of thing to ease where Tommy don't have to focus on that. So it's not a big deal here. Now Bobby goes and sneaks up on Chan, the lawyer, and sees, and while he is about to make a move on him, then he sees that Sang is there. And before he approaches him, he sits back. He gets a picture of him as changing the envelope, which we already know is a deal. We already know where this is going, but Bobby peeped it all. Yes, I can't wait.
I said this a couple episodes ago. I said it's going to be Bobby that's going to break. And I said when he breaks it, it's going to make it look like the Marquez Cartel is the ones who actually killed Stacy.
Yeah.
All you had to see is this scene where Bobby put 2 and 2 together, all because of Delgado constantly saying this person doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And you see this person that doesn't exist, who's visited Ortega in jail, sitting with the person who's now supposed to be the DA.
Yeah, money got his change. This is a lot to make it add. I mean, Shane should not be taking money from anybody as
so let me ask you this question then. So do you think he's going to put it together that Sang is covering for the Ortega cartel, or for the Marquez cartel, or that Sang is the one who actually killed Stacy?
I think he's going to run both ideas. But I don't think he's gonna let anybody know because now he doesn't know who to trust internally.
He know one person to trust.
Who? Not what's her face? She told him to back off Tommy too.
No, she told him to back off Tommy, but she told him look into this person.
Oh, true. Yeah.
If you eliminate him as a suspect, then we could go after Egan.
Yeah, that's true.
And now he realizes she was right the whole time. So then Bobby, being a good cop, he's gonna play it all over in his head. Like, wait a minute, every time I possibly thought or someone brought up this could be a hit by the Marquez cartel, Sang is the one who stepped in and said no.
Yeah, it's true.
And now I see you taking money from. So you killed Stacy, and you've been setting up Tommy this whole time. because you wanted a fall.
You know what you haven't said? Somehow Tommy walks away hands free in all this.
No, he does completely hands free. But this is Tommy's get out of jail free card. But
no, from also, everything though. Even like there's literally nothing on him at this rate now.
At this point, so the DA office was going after Tommy this whole time because Stacy thought Tommy was bad. It turns out Sang was the one who feed her information that Tommy was bad. So that means Tommy's a drug dealer. Yes, we can openly admit that. But a lot of the more corrupt things we tied to him was Sang doing it for the Marquez Cartel. That's what Bobby's going to put together. And then I think that's going to hurt Vic in a way. Because how did you get this statement from Vic?
Yeah.
If they arrest Vic and then they ask Vic, you think Vic's not going to say, oh, no, he told me to write a statement. And he said, I'll have my freedom if I did.
Yeah. Still don't trust Ray, but we'll see.
No. Ray's going to be the person who's going to help slap the cuffs on him when they land at G5.
Yeah.
And where the fuck did they get G5 money from?
Oh, Vic got money. That's never been a question.
Yes,
Vic got money.
When did they have G5 money?
Yeah, Vic, they got money. They still got the ports. They might not be the biggest name, but they still got the Irish ports. They got money. Yeah, then they're not. He's not doing bad.
Let me phrase that. That doesn't seem like a smart use of money.
Well, it's probably Walter's old G5. You know, they got the new ones out there now. You know, with the 18 seaters. That's the 15. Yeah. Anyway, now Tommy at Miguel's spot. And we need to find Jenard now. And then Shanti says, I got an inside man in CBI. And he's like, would you just not telling me that? But she said, yeah, we said it was on the need to know basis. Shanti still pulling
all business.
All business. D-Mac is there. And while D-Mac is hot, Miguel puts him in his place. Stay in your place, little homie. But then he explains that Marshall tried to take him out and he had to kill him. And that was a holy shit moment for Tommy. He couldn't believe it, but he also confirmed to him that he's about that life now. And then he says, listen, I know this shit's emotional, but y'all need to stand the fuck down. It was just Shanti letting everybody know. Here's the play. No D-Mac. Shanti's right. We're going to have to hit them in their blind spot. So again, Shanti getting the boulder confidence from everything. Now we get Diamond and Jenard and the crew at the church and the brothers. Then he says like, well, I guess, the brother wasn't enough as you went over after his mother. Diamond talking to Jenard. So like, what the fuck were you thinking? And then he said, what, are you high right now? And then he said, like, I had to do something. But he said, like, give me a heads up next time you go solo. He said, word. He just said, well, they said word IP, the IP spot, the IPs were spotted nearby. So that means Tommy could know where we're at, or maybe he has a snitch. And he says, well, we need to find it. Well, if they find us, that confirms it, or could be good. We got to keep this between us. So now they feel like there's somebody in there that's a snitch. I'm gonna tell you right now, if Diamond's dead, this means nothing. Jenard is not going to assess that there was a snitch. Yeah, absolutely, and that's how it should be. At least that's how it should be. But we'll see. But then Jenard says, "Hey, bro, listen. Tommy wants me. Like, you don't have to be here. Like, Diamond's like, dead that shit. You my brother. We in this shit together." Now we get Tommy and Marquez says like, we got eyes on Jenard, and get because he got the text from Shanti and says, come on, let's go. And hold up, are you ready for this? It says, fuck yeah, just kind of everybody just talking to D-Mac, saying, and then right before we got that moment from Kate from the initial trailer, Tommy make them suffer and he smiles. And I was like, yeah, now we're talking. Listen. If there's one person that can put the battery in Tommy's back, is damn sure is Kate. And the moment Kate, and it made sense that Jenard had to choke Kate in order for this moment to happen, because you had to have Kate on the side of violence, not on her very ethical
her new peaceful journey.
Yeah, hell no. You had to get Kate back to where she was at. Kate might hit the line after this for all we know it. But yeah, make them suffer. Is what I tell you. What if D-Mac had got killed in this episode, Kate was having a gun next episode. It wasn't even a question.
D-Mac would have got killed in this. If D-Mac would have got killed instead of JP, Kate would have shot Jenard when she went to go get those groceries. she been playing about her grandbaby.
Yeah. Kate would have been right up in that church with an AK. One hand in it too. So now we get the CBI brothers and everybody at the church and says like, yeah, we're ready for Tommy. And then Jenard wants to ask Diamond, like, what type of magic does Tommy have over you? And then this is just a reflection of, and then again, y'all check out the interview with Isaac, who plays Diamond. It's available now. He breaks this scene down, and he breaks it down for the time we had, and he did it masterfully, as I said. But like, I really need him and Chris to really talk this down, because like, I'm gonna give you a little bit of what he said, but I'm gonna go over what happened. So like, with Diamond's talking about like being sat down for 15 years, really having him not as confident that he can do this anymore. And he said that CBI was a way of keeping him close to his brother, but he also feels guilty because, and I thought this very early in this series too, because if your brother was supposed to be this big like baseball player, or all these promising athletic moves that he could have made, but you wanted him in the game, you let him run the game. It's the same thing from BMF with the St. Louis dude and whatnot, and that measure of resentment, that power from that. But while that's not the same case here, it's still the measure of consciousness of saying like, man, I made you everything that you had promising is all because of the game here, but I just wanted you to stay close to me. I didn't want to lose you, and whatnot. But so he said, yeah, CBI was a way of keeping you with me, but he regrets it. And he also regrets working with Tommy over him. And then he apologizes and says, I'm sorry. And I know how much this cost you. That I know how much this cost you, I think is big. Because whether Jenard recognizes it or not, this is a lot you can make it. Like, listen, this could cost you your life. This has already cost you the athletic opportunities you had. This could cost you a different path that you could have had. This also has cost us our bond at a point. But he lays it all down here. And this is the only thing I'm gonna say about my interpretation of this, is that you have two brothers, two black men being vulnerable about their feelings, and willing to apologize and willing to be, honest and truth about what they're feeling, and don't care how it's really received, especially when you are the top guy. When you are that guy, you're ready to go to war, and you're sitting here basically close to tears of saying, I really got this wrong. You know what I mean? Which goes to the next point of the stereotypical, or I have to say the common conversation between black men with something, because he says, brother, man, if you got something right now you want to get off your chest, let me have it. I felt like I was at a church sermon right now, and they said, if you want to confess something to God right now, come down here to the pew. Hey, now, hit.
But that's why this was the most important aspect of the show. He asked that question for a reason. Oh, he 100%. Stated that for a reason and did not get the answer that he needed.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just the answer he needed. At bare minimum, he wasn't honest, and he read right through that shit. And that's the stereotypical thing. It's like, and we've all been there. We've all been vulnerable. And then you try to confide in your boy, and then they're on some funny ha bullshit, or they laughing, and you're like, nah, I'm being real. Like, this shit bothering me. And I think that's the first thing, is saying the portrayal of like where we should be and where we constantly are. And when he recognizes that Jenard didn't meet him with the same measure of honesty and vulnerability, and then ultimately truth, and then ultimately something he already knew that was true, and then ultimately he basically called a spade a spade. He's like, you are my brother, and I know you better than anybody. I don't got to say it, but I do. I already asked you once, were you high? And you already done lied then. You already lied then. I asked you again, and you still can't even be honest about it. And I think that sucks, considering that they're really at the doorstep of war, and you either have a decision to killing your brother, you feel like that's on your heart, because and that's the thing I want to say. When him asking about the honesty, it's two things I thought there. Either he's asking him about, are you high, or did you have plans on trying to kill me? And that's what he was asking. It had nothing to do with him being high, because he already had asked it. If you got to get anything off your chest, you got to let me know. What is the Shanti? It was what Shanti said. Yeah. And that's what's in his head. So the moment Jenard spoke, he knew he was lying to him. And he's thinking, damn, gotta do it. Like, I already know I'm gonna have to take you out. Because at a moment where I'm being super vulnerable to you, I am telling you, I made these mistakes, and it changed the course of your life, and I shouldn't have done that.
And then you like, this is the time for you to tell me the reason why you was plotting against me is because of everything that happened. If you're honest with me at that moment, we can move past it. It's a contradiction between a conversation between him and Tommy. On that Riverwalk, they were honest with one another. There was no lies told. And then I turn around, I'm extremely vulnerable with Jenard like I was with Tommy, and I immediately get a lie. I know exactly what it is at this point.
Yeah.
It felt like the same. And you know, I can compare that moment between Tommy and Diamond on the Riverwalk, but you can also compare this moment to D-Mac and Marshall. Yeah. I now see where your loyalty is, and I know I can't trust you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tells me everything in the world. Just because of what happens at the end, that's still going to be Diamond. In the end, you still my brother. I will kill you before I let somebody else kill you.
Yeah.
We've seen this play out also between Ghost and Tommy. Like, even when they were trying to kill each other, they did not like when other people tried to kill one another.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different thing when I know I have to take you out versus allowing someone else to take you out.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, Diamond did not receive that at all good, but he does make the notion of saying, like, listen, if it's going to be me and you running shit again, you got to promise you're not going to use again. And he hesitated, but he promised for whatever that's worth, because it means worth shit once you already have lied so many times.
Exactly.
Now we get Maria trying to book a one-way ticket to Mexico, and Kate walks in and says, "Are you trying to leave? My boy, answer me." Now, if anybody, I'm just gonna go off another one and say she is not trying to book that for herself. No way. She's been so trill with him the entire time. There's been nothing in this moment that would say she really needs to. I don't think there's no reason at this very moment that she thinks that she needs to
definitely booking.
I mean, you've always thought that, but I mean, like, let's just call it what it is. Why is this scene here right now? There's nothing in this episode that amounted to this needing to happen.
Oh, no. Think about it. We actually brought it up. It's the conversation she has with Kate that's making her do this. When Kate brings up, I lost another son, and Maria says, how do we deal with this? And Kate said, what we learn to endure. And Maria's thinking is, I don't want to leave Tommy, but for the safety of my child, they can't be involved in this. That doesn't mean in the end, like, Tommy won't be around, but I can't be in this situation. She's more protected in Mexico. So she don't need to follow Tommy everywhere for Tommy to still be involved in everything, but she's thinking self-preservation for her child. It's not about her. I think if it was early in the season when everything was happening and Maria kept on telling Tommy, it's no longer us. We have to think beyond us. This is her thinking beyond us. Because the selfish part to me would be for her to stay there with him. I mean, and you see what can happen with the game. But if I go away and I birth this child and this child can have a safe life, in the end, I know I'm jumping ahead of the gun. I think Tommy's going to agree with this in the end. It's going to hurt, but he's going to agree with it. And he's going to say, you know what? After everything that's going on here, every time I turn around, I have to worry about not only you dying, but I got to worry about someone now killing another person in my life. Maybe it's best if you're not here.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like they're trying to, like, throw us a swerve here, and they're trying to make it into something, because Maria has been sort of 10 toes down with him the entire time, and I just didn't feel like there was enough for her to make this drastic move.
That baby move is completely different, though.
But I mean, regardless, she's been pregnant this entire time. I don't think Kate was the convincing factor. But yeah, you agree to disagree. But I will say, the conversation that comes from this is going to be interesting, because how does Kate react to her abandoning her son? You know, what does that mean?
Just wait, because I think Kate is going to shock you the way she's going to respond to this.
We'll see.
And I think they're going to tell me about this being the best move.
Yeah. Last scene of the episode now here is we get Raheem. We know Shanti's sneaker connect. Giving everybody water, getting everybody ready. And this is those bodies that are there, those are clearly Marquez Cartel folks.
Yeah.
And Raheem's giving them poison water. Everybody saw that coming. And stabbed that dude up after talking about kidney stones. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is the worst story ever told. Like, what is he talking about right now?
Hey, I just need to get you away from everyone else.
But listen, dude was right there. He's like, nah, this heat, I'm down for that. It's like, yeah, that actually checks out. Yeah, you're regardless of where you're from, but most people closer to the equator, heat doesn't bother him. And he was like, yeah, only water. What you talking about? But if that being said, after that, he kills that whole front line. He sends the text or call or whatever and says, make a move. Tommy and Miguel comes in side by side. Yeah, boy. Hell yeah. Shout out to Michael Bay, who missed the scene, because if Michael Bay did this, that whole when that first door open, explosion. It'd been a whole explosion right there.
Not only this explosion, then you'd have got the camera, the 360 drone, and they'd have been turning around. Yep.
You already know. But they come in, D-Mac comes in, D-Mac gun jams, which is interesting, but to hide the dramatics, and he gets shot. Just to kind of give perspective, D-Mac saw Jenard, his gun jammed, Jenard saw him, shot him on the shoulder, put him down. I don't think Miguel got any bodies that was of any significance, but then Tommy saw Jenard after D-Mac got shot, takes a shot at Jenard, and who would have ever thought that Diamond was going to jump in front of this bullet, takes the shot. Two bullets. Yeah, takes the shot. Everybody with Miguel and Tommy and all them, they retreat back. And we see Diamond on the ground and Jenard yelling out. And he's like, I need you, brother. This is our time. Me and you. Cries over his body and yells out, fuck. That's the end of the episode. Again, we don't know if that means that he's dead. We don't know. That's fine. It's hard to say. That's fine. We'll find out next week.
Got one episode left. There's no need to rush it. No need to rush it.
That's all that is. That's all that is. But that completes tonight's episode. So I'm going to say what I said in the very beginning one more time. Number one, there is a break next week. So next Friday, there will not be a recap show or an episode premiering on STARZ at whatever your respective time zone is. So come back the week after that. Number two, if there is any news that comes about in this break, we'll definitely jump on for some discussion and conversation about that. If it doesn't happen, we definitely fully expect it to happen after the last episode airs. Definitely. And can talk about the future of power, the implications of the news, and any of that good stuff. Number three, exclusive content. I don't think I'm going to just be giving that out all free willy-nilly, since everybody's out there just claiming that, that they are the exclusive connect. So if that's the case, then we'll just hold it. I have no problem, or we'll put it behind the paywall. Because we're going to make sure, like, for all the hard work and everything that we done, we make sure y'all know exactly where it came from. Yeah, I will 100% have to honor that. Like, that's just what it is. Because I wouldn't even be pressed like that if everybody wasn't out here just taking people's content and acting like it's theirs. Like, it's crazy. It's legitimately crazy that people can be like, I got it from them, but I'm going to say it's mine. Like, no. And y'all just have no chill. And as I mentioned, we have a major interview next week, or the next episode, so 2 weeks as well. I'm not gonna give anything away, and I'll say, like, it's so big I don't even know what it means. Like, that's just how I put it. So we'll see when we get there, but also you have to just stay locked in, stay subscribed, hit the website, all that other good stuff. Give credit where credit is due out there. If you using clips or anything, fine, but tag. We'll repost it as well. Everybody can eat. Like, but stealing shit like it's y'all is crazy. It's got crazy. But yeah, take a look. Keep an eye out on the channel, because when that exclusive member paywall comes about, you'll be the first to know everything before everybody, before it's free or released to everybody. So yeah, stay locked in there. That's how we're gonna have to rock, because y'all don't know how to act. But until then, Happy New Year, everybody. We appreciate y'all watching. Once again, this has been another recap review show here with us at the Culture Collective for Power Book 4 Force. One more to go. Finale's around the corner. Can't wait to talk about it. See you there. Thanks for watching, folks.